Hey there, tech fans. Rick here again with a quick review of the Orei UHDS-404VW HDMI matrix with video wall capabilities. This product allows you to very easily share the output from 4 different HDMI media devices with 4 monitors at the same time, while providing complete control over which of those media streams is being displayed on each one of the monitors at any given time by using the buttons on the front of the unit, the included infrared remote control, by connecting the device to your local network and opening a browser, or through a direct RS-232 connection to a local computer. But it's also a video wall generator, which will digitally combine all 4 of the inputs across 4 monitors that are organized in a 2x2 grid to create an enormous display. The product fully supports 4K ultra-high definition media content and is both HDMI 2.0b as well as HDCP 1.4 and 2.2 compliant, which means it's going to work perfectly fine with all of your modern media gear. Now, as part of this review, I'd like to start with a brief unboxing just to show you everything that's included with the kit, and then I'll take a closer look at the unit, I'll explain the connections and indicators so you understand how to use it, and then I'll point out a few things that really separate this from a lot of other products on the market that you may be considering. Let's get started with the unboxing. So when you first pop open the box, you'll find the matrix. You'll also find a single 12-volt 2.5 amp DC power supply. You can plug this into any standard wall outlet. The other end of the cable has a barrel connection on it with a locking collar that plugs directly into the back of the unit, and you can finger tighten that collar so it doesn't pop out. You'll find a bracketing kit you can use to mount this up off the ground and out of the way if you choose to do that. You'll also find an infrared extender kit, because if you locate this outside of a cabinet, the infrared remote control will work just fine. But if you put it inside of a wiring closet or a cabinet, the receiver is going to be blocked on the front, so you can simply plug this into the back of the unit and locate this outside the cabinet so you can continue to use the remote control. You'll also find an infrared remote control. That's really handy so you can make decisions about which input is being sent to which output from quite a distance away from the unit. You'll also find a warranty card, and a full instruction manual is also included that lists connection diagrams, specifications, and other really important information you'll need to understand about the product in order to use it correctly. Now, if you stay tuned next, I'll take a closer look at the unit, and then I'll point out some of the special features that really separate this from a lot of other products on the market. The unit features a full metal enclosure, which makes it incredibly durable. On the top of the unit, you'll find ventilation slots that are designed to let any heat that develops during operation escape. You'll also find ventilation. The product features a full metal enclosure, which makes it incredibly durable. On the top of the cabinet, you'll find ventilation slots that are designed to let any heat that develops during operation escape and keep the electronics inside at a very comfortable temperature. You'll also find ventilation slots on either side, which help with the cooling as well. There are mounting holes on either side you can use with the included bracketing kit to mount this module up off the ground and out of the way. The product features a full metal enclosure, which makes it incredibly durable. The product features a full metal enclosure, which makes it incredibly durable and really helps to minimize outside interference from causing any issues with the electronics inside. On the top of the cabinet, you'll find ventilation slots, and those are designed to let any heat that develops during operation escape. You'll also find more ventilation on either side, again to help with the cooling. On the front of the unit, the product features a full metal enclosure, which makes it incredibly durable and really the perfect solution for both commercial and residential installations. On the top of the cabinet, as well as on either side, you'll find ventilation slots that are designed to let any heat that develops during operation escape and keep the electronics inside at a very comfortable temperature. On either side, you'll also find mounting holes that can be used with the included bracketing kit to mount this module up off the ground and out of the way. On the front of the product, starting on the left, you'll find a power button, and that's used to turn the unit on and off, so the minute you add power to the product, you can tap that, unit will go through its power on self-test. To the right of that is a power indicator. Once it starts that power on self-test, it's checking all the internal electronics to make sure everything is working okay, and once it passes that test, it'll light that LED, letting you know the product's ready to use. To the right of that is an infrared receiver window that's used with the included remote control, and that's where the signals are picked up. To the right of that, you'll find 4 LED sections labeled Out 1, Out 2, Out 3, and Out 4. These LEDs indicate which of the inputs is currently being sent to that output. And you can vary that by tapping this button. So if you'd like to move from 1 to 2, tap the button once. When you tap it on 4, it jumps back to number 1. So you have individual control for each of the 4 outputs by tapping the button and deciding which input is sent to that output. On the rear of the units, where you'll make all your connections, starting on the left-hand side, you'll find 2 connections right here for controlling this over a network. There's a LAN port. You can actually plug this into your local network and open a browser to make your configuration choices. You can also directly connect it to an RS-232 connection to a local computer to make those choices. To the right of that is a 3.5mm port labeled IR extension, and that's where the infrared extender plugs in. So if you locate this inside of a cabinet, you'll want to plug in that infrared extender and locate that outside the cabinet so it can pick up the remote control signals. To the right of that, there's a grouping of 4 HDMI ports labeled HD 1, 2, 3, and 4 for the input, and the same HD 1, 2, 3, and 4 for the output. This is where the media devices are connected that you'd like to share the content from with your monitors over here. So you have 4 input devices, all full-sized HDMI ports, and 4 output devices or monitors you can plug in over here. And then finally to the right is a DC input port. That's where the power supply plugs in, so you can plug that into a wall outlet. The other end of that cable has a barrel connection on it, which plugs in right there, and you can finger tighten the collar. On the bottom of the product, you'll find more ventilation slots and 4 rubber feet that are designed to protect the surface you set this down on and keep it from sliding around during operation. Now I'll show you the connections you'll need to make to use this product with your own equipment. And for this demonstration, over here I've set up 4 media players. 3 of them are displaying different images just to make it easy to tell them apart. And the 4th one is looping a video because I wanted to show you that you can easily mix and match a wide variety of different media types on the HDMI matrix at the same time. And this is the media content that I'd like to display on my output monitors. Over here I've set up 4 monitors in a 2x2 configuration because this unit is an HDMI matrix which provides complete control over which of the inputs is being displayed in each of the monitors by using the buttons or using the infrared remote control. But it's also a video wall generator which allows me to select one of the inputs and have it stretched across all 4 monitors at the same time to create a gigantic video wall. And I'll show you how that works in a little bit. I have the HDMI matrix and video wall generator in front of me, and I'll start by connecting the media devices up to the unit. Now on the input side, it's not that important the order you connect these up to the input ports because you've got control over which of these gets displayed in each of the monitors. So I've got 4 high-speed HDMI cables connected up to the players, and I'll plug those into HDMI input number 1 through 4. And it's important to use a high quality HDMI cable to make sure that you get the best resolution possible on your output devices. So find a good cable. All right, so those are plugged in. Now I'm going to connect my output devices. And with the output devices, if you're going to use the video wall generator function inside the unit, it is important that you plug them in the right ports because the unit doesn't know which monitor's in the upper left and which one's in the lower right. So if you plug them in randomly, you're going to get kind of a scrambled screen over here. So I've already organized these and I've labeled the cables, and all of this is explained in the manual. So I'll plug monitor 1 into output 1, monitor 2 into output 2, and so on. And once I've made those connections, the only thing we're missing at this point is power. Now, I've already plugged in the power supply. The other end of that cable has a barrel connection on it, which plugs directly into the DC port in the back of the unit. The minute I plug power in, this unit's going to start an internal power on self-test where it's checking all the electronics to make sure everything's working okay. But it's also going to check the input resolution of my media devices and the output resolution of my monitors to make whatever adjustments are needed internally to give me the best possible picture. So let me plug that in. And again, that self-test is going to take a couple of seconds. Once it finishes, you'll see these monitors light up with the inputs displayed in each of the monitors. And again, it's a couple of seconds. It's checking the resolution on both sides. And there we go. So I've got 3 of them that have static images displayed, and there's my monitor with the video on it. Now, the interesting thing is I can select one of these and send that same input to all 4 monitors. I can move them around as I need to, or I can put it in video wall generation mode, and that's really cool. Now, I could certainly use the remote control to do it, but I've got to be in front of it to pick it up. But if you have this unit in a media cabinet or some kind of wiring closet where there's a door in front of it, the remote won't work. So the kit also includes an infrared extender, which basically plugs into the back of the unit, and then you can locate the receiver outside of the cabinet pretty much anywhere that's visible, so you can use the remote with it. So let me show you how I can get into video wall mode here. I'm set up for a 2x2, so let me hit that. It's going to take a second to reorganize. And once it reorganizes, there you go. I've taken input number 1 and I'm displaying it across all 4 monitors, which is pretty cool. And now I want to come back to the matrix. I'm pretty sure I'll hit this button. Hopefully I'm back to the matrix. And there we go. Again, it takes a second to adjust the resolution. And through this remote, I can select any of the inputs and send that to any of the outputs at any given time using the buttons if I'm close to it, the remote from across the room, or even over the network. You can connect this up to your LAN, open a browser, and have complete control through the web GUI. So it gives you a lot of ways to make those selections. But the best part about it is that it's actually 2 units in one. It's an HDMI matrix, which provides a lot of control over input versus output, but it's a video wall generator, which is typically a separate product, and that's combined into a single unit. So it really is that easy to get it working. I hope that closer look was helpful. Now here are a few really important things to keep in mind when you're comparing the Orei UHDS-404VW with other products you may be considering. The first thing, and probably most important thing to remember, is that this product is really 2 products combined into one. It's a 4x4 HDMI matrix, which allows you to very easily share the output from 4 different HDMI media devices with 4 monitors at the same time, while providing complete control over which of those HDMI media streams is being displayed on each one of the monitors at any given time by using the infrared remote control, the buttons on the front of the unit, or by connecting this to your network and opening a browser, or through a direct RS-232 connection to a local computer. But it's also a video wall generator that will digitally combine all 4 of the inputs into a much larger display, so it provides complete control over how your media content is being displayed. It also fully supports 4K ultra high definition media content at up to 60 frames a second. And that's important as well because a lot of the Matrix products on the market may only support 4K at 30 frames, or they may only support 1080p. So knowing you've got a product that supports 4K at 60 frames a second means you're going to get the best possible picture on your displays. The unit is also certified against HDMI 2.0b as well as HDCP 1.4 and 2.2. And the reason those certifications are important is because the HDMI standard's gone through a lot of changes in recent years. A lot of new features have been introduced, and knowing you're on the latest version of HDMI means you can take advantage of all those features. The HDCP certification is important as well because that controls copy protection, so knowing I've got the latest version of HDCP built into the unit means I can play all my copy protected files. So you know the product's going to work fine with all of your modern media gear. Also included in the kit is the infrared remote control, and I like that a lot because a lot of the Matrix products don't provide a remote, which means you can only use it on your desktop where you can reach the buttons, or if you put it on your media center, you've got to get up from your chair every time you want to make a selection. So having the remote control means you can make those selections from the comfort of your couch or the chair in your living room. I also like the fact that they include an infrared extender kit, because if you locate this inside of a cabinet with the door closed, the remote won't work. The receiver's blocked. So having an infrared extender means I can use the sticky tape, put this outside the cabinet, plug it into the back of the unit, close the door, and still use the remote control. Everything you need to get started is included with the kit, and it's an incredibly easy product to use, whether it's in your media center with a DVD player or a game console, or it's on your desktop between your computer and your laptop. It works fine across a wide range of different media devices. So thanks an awful lot for watching. I hope you found this review helpful, and until next time, as always, stay nerdy